Hey, everybody. In this episode, it's myself, Ben, Nikki, and Aaron. Nikki and Aaron comes on the show today, and they are from Boca Recovery Center. They come on and they share a little bit about what's going on in their lives. They were on the show a long time ago. I don't know what episode, but you can go back in the catalog and find it. Both of them have recently gone through some rather traumatic things in their sobriety, and we get into that in detail. It does get a little heavy, but these are things that we need to talk about. And then we transition into fitness because Nikki is 8 months pregnant and she has maintained a level of fitness throughout her whole pregnancy. And she talks about how that has been very important for her in her sobriety and her overall health. From there, we transition into detox and res, what those levels of care are supposed to really be about, how to really care for the client, and how to make sure we set you up for success on your sobriety journey. We talk about all that and more. Enjoy the show. Here we are, Real Recovery Talk. I am your host, Tom Conrad. In today's episode, we've got Benjamin B.
What's happening, everyone?
We have Nikki.
Hello.
And we have Aaron.
Hello, guys.
First things first, thank you for tuning in on the podcast app, whichever one that you choose to use, and thank you for watching on YouTube. In the end, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you could always reach us, info@realrecoverytalk.com. Again, that's info@realrecoverytalk.com, and ultimately, we want to help you turn your mess into your message, right, peeps?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Am I forgetting anything? I'm forgetting a lot, Ben. Also, go to realrecoverytalk.com, and on the front, you're going to see this little link. It says schedule a call. You can click that and schedule a call with either myself, Ben, or Dr. Tambini. We're going to give you 10, 15 minutes, hear about your current situation, see if there's any way that we can help you. If, in fact, you want ongoing calls with us, you can go to realrecoverytalk.com/services, and there you can just scroll down and you're going to see me, Ben, and Tambini. Take your pick, click, make payment, and you'll have a 1-hour conversation with us. You could buy multiple, you could buy just one, or you don't have to buy any, and you can just continue listening to the podcast, and a lot of the information's here. But if you want to go in depth, schedule a call with us. What else? Oh, Facebook group. Make sure to go to Real Recovery Talk on Facebook, and it's called what? Real Recovery Talk Support Group, right, Ben?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go there. There's almost 400 members in there, and we're trying to build that up, and we want, to have conversations and break bread, and, all is welcome, Nikki. All is welcome in our Facebook group. Parents, loved ones, addicts in recovery, or if you need to be in recovery, go there. And we're all in recovery for the most part. Mm-hmm. Right, Ben?
At least from something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyways, here we are. We have Aaron and Nikki. Do you go by Nikki?
Yeah, I go by Nikki.
Nikki's pregnant.
Very pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How far along?
I am 8 months, due in 6 weeks.
Oh, damn. So we should be on standby.
It's getting I might have the baby on the set.
I got a trauma kit in my truck. We're good.
Yeah, Ben's got a trauma kit, so we're good. So Nikki is, I have this, I just said before we started recording, I'm trying something new here, but Nikki's actually under this camera, but on this camera. So I'm figuring this out, Ben, as we go.
Tom, you're getting good at this. I'll give you a compliment.
Genius, Tom.
We believe in you.
Aaron, thank you. I am a freaking G.
You do this.
So how's the pregnancy been?
I mean, the pregnancy's been super smooth. Luckily, Is
this your first kid?
This is my first kid. Yep.
Cool.
And it's cool because we were just saying when we were here last time, we were talking about I was like, yeah, I want kids. And Aaron's like, you better hurry up because I'm 36. But I wanted to just let it happen when it was right. And it did. And I didn't know how I was going to take it, but I've been no problems. I mean, I was pregnant with twins a couple months before this pregnancy and I lost them. So then I was scared, what if there is issues or what if it's me? But it's been perfect.
Wow. So. I want to dig into that real quick. But Ben, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
A couple months ago, you were pregnant with twins and you had a miscarriage?
2 months before I got pregnant with her, I lost twins.
And the reason I want to get into this is because we talk about traumatic things that happen, and we need to be prepared for them in sobriety. A lot of times, this can happen for people. And my wife, full transparency, she had a miscarriage a few years back, and she did not handle it well. How was that for you?
I didn't handle it well at first at all. I was like distraught. And I mean, if anything, it's like the first time that thoughts of using did kind of pop in my head, even though I didn't like act on them. Like I was like, could not stop crying for days because I was so excited that it actually like happened smooth. And then I found out it was twins, so I was even more excited. Then I found out that there might be a chance that one is not okay, and I was already struggling with that. And I was really practicing to like, all right, I'm gonna have faith, both are gonna be okay, and like putting everything into that, like trying to really practice having faith, and then getting like surprised with that news. And
what was the first thing you did, like in terms of your sobriety? Did you like call people, reach out? What'd that look like?
Well, luckily I had people in my, support group that all knew I was going to the doctor, that I was already scared. So naturally, even though I didn't want to talk to everybody about it right away, they all knew because they were all following up with me already,
That's one of the really cool things. I'm still trying to like take all this in. That was heavy. That's one of the cool things about being in sobriety, and we've known Nikki and Aaron for years now. Mm-hmm. Just to throw it out there, they're with Boca Recovery. Mm-hmm. We have a good relationship with them. We utilize them for detox services. Their integrity and morals and all that aligns with what we do here at Rock. Really good facility. But I just want to throw that in there real quick. But what I was getting at is that when you have a sobriety community, like you clearly do, like you work an awesome program. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
It's out there. When we are weak ourselves or in a situation, it's kind of funny how like when we can't make that call, we're in a place where people are actually calling us.
Yeah.
And I talk about that all the time. Like when I'm having a bad day and I can't do it, how funny like God is. And like all of a sudden, like all these sponsees and sober supports call for like whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's like it's doing for me what I can't do for myself, but you built that foundation. Mm-hmm. And that's the importance of it.
And that's why it's important to just have it in place because, when you're going through rough times, you're not going to start building support or reach out to people. It needs to already be there. It needs to already be people that you consider family.
So now, I mean, looking back on that situation, you obviously handled it well. And you've been blessed with, and I don't want to make this about me at all. I just want to relate to it. My wife, she, had a miscarriage, and then, the doctors and everybody, they were like, well, you shouldn't try and have another baby for a few months or whatever. Legit 2 weeks after we were pregnant with Hattie, so, it's cool that, you were blessed with another pregnancy that's obviously going well.
And that's cool to hear that you after 2 weeks, because everybody was like, you could get pregnant right after. My doctor's like, no, wait. I'm like, I don't want to wait that long because what if it's really hard to get pregnant again? I don't have time to go through this like for years, So do
you feel like you're prepared for the baby or no?
I feel like I'm as prepared as you could be. Am I one of those parents that are like, I have everything like perfectly ready? And no. I'm still busy every day, but I'm not like freaking out about it because, thus far everything has been smooth without me freaking out about it, and take it as it comes.
And you probably got absolutely everything that you need. I know baby showers are crazy, especially for your first child. Like, I
don't know about absolutely everything, but I have what I need, and I'll
What do you need? What do you need that you don't have?
If you need anything, ask my wife.
Yeah.
She's one of those like females that like if another woman in recovery is pregnant, she will just like go into detail and do everything she can do to just like help out.
That what you just said is super cool because in what you did say, if you're a female in recovery, what that points out is the recovery community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, congrats. I'm super happy for you. Aaron, what's up, dude?
Not that much, brother. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's life?
It's good, man. It's been very busy. It's been very stressful, but I mean, I'm blessed.
How many kids you got?
So I have 2 kids with my wife now, but I also have another son that a lot of people don't know about in New Jersey, who's from another woman that I was with a long time ago, and I don't speak to him. I'm hoping one day we do speak, but I just been kind of staying sober, doing the right thing, and hoping like something comes about it. But 3 kids total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just ran into a hardship with one of your children.
Yeah. My son Maddox, Maddox, yeah. So he about a year ago, well in August, yeah, about a year ago, we were all sick with COVID, and my son was doing something weird in the bed when we shut the lights off, and he was like doing like this jerking movement, and we weren't sure what it was, but we called the paramedics, and they said maybe, you know, he's having a seizure. So we brought him to the nearest hospital, and they were acting kind of weird, like doing tests, and we weren't really too. He was having trouble walking, and his right side was kind of like loose. He couldn't really like grip things, and he was acting kind of like giddy, kind of weird. But we weren't sure what was going on. But apparently, the whole time he was having a stroke. And you know, they immediately transferred him to my Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. I drove behind the ambulance, and you know, when we got there, it was, you know, they were kind of like prepping him or whatever for MRI, and he almost like died that night. Like it was bad. Like he almost died. They were giving him an MRI, and he turned blue. And I'm watching the doctor and all these nurses like operate on him, and my wife's back with my youngest son, and you know, like I was flipping out. Like I didn't know what was going on, you know? And I mean, I was born with a healthy boy, you know, like no issues. It was all fine. And I heard the doctor, he was like, you know, he thinks he has moya moya. And I was like, what is moya moya? Like I've never heard of that. Come to find out, it's, you know, it's where the blood vessels are not connecting correctly in your brain. And you know, normally your brain, when it's not dehydrated and it's not sick, has ways of getting around it to where it can get you the blood or the oxygen that it needs. But because he had COVID and he was so dehydrated, he had a stroke that night. So, you know, he couldn't walk. I was worried, like, is my son going to be, you know, in handicap? Like, what's going on? He was in a coma. He wakes up like a day and a half later, and my son is like, he's a beast. He's a strong kid. He woke up, he ripped everything out of his throat. He ripped it out. And then he ended up having 2 more strokes, like a few months later. Cause we were trying to get him scheduled for brain surgery, which he finally had the brain surgery at Boston's Children's Hospital, right before Christmas of last year. And you know, he has a scar on his head. A beautiful kid, handsome kid. Love him more than anything. I honestly, like, I love my son more than anything. But yeah, the last year, it was traumatic, man. It really was traumatic. It kind of changed the way I like been dealing with people, my interactions with people, to the, you know, the business that we're in. But you know, all in all, it's been a positive story thus far. You know, like he's overcoming it. He's in school today. You know, we have to watch him, make sure he drinks water, but I don't know, man. It was crazy, and I'm lucky I have a solid, you know, foundation and people around me, but was not expecting something like that. And, you know, anything you go in recovery, financial issues, all that, like nothing is more important than your health and your family. And that's kind of changed my outlook on a lot of things. It's like some of the things I've been stressing about and gotta try to move forward and progress and make money and, you know, gotta like, you know, see those things. It's like some of those things are not that important to me right now.
Huh.
They're not that important.
Shit.
Yeah.
Dude, this got heavy.
I know.
From the rip
Yeah.
with Nikki.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. So this is the first time I'm hearing all that. And I told Aaron before, like, you know, when you're an outsider, like looking in, like, and you see something going on, like I figured you already had so much support and stuff. Like I didn't want to like pry and be like,
Yeah.
hey, what's going on, man? Because
Yeah.
I figure you're talking about it all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is kind of the first I'm hearing in details of this stuff. And Maddox is 6, right?
He's 6, yeah.
I mean, dude, so what I'm picking up on just for the whole gist of this episode is like, dude, we get all this stuff back in recovery, right? And I always say, like, for me, it's not that life gets easier. In fact, I would argue in many ways it gets harder because we've leveled up, dude.
Yeah.
We now have family, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, we have responsibility. We're responsible for other people's lives now, dude.
Yeah.
And the fact that because of our recovery, like you look at a situation like either one of yours, and we're able to step up now. And that's what I want people to like see the beauty in, is the fact that we're responsible enough.
Yeah.
We're good enough human beings at this point. Dude, I was a scumbag before. But now, like, when stuff hits the fan, dude, like, I'm able to be an asset to the situation rather than a liability.
Yeah.
Because how often, like, for instance, like, just as a simple example, my grandmother passed away, and nobody cared if I was at the funeral, and I didn't go.
Yeah.
And to this day, like, I feel guilty about that. But, like, stuff like that, like, it didn't matter if I was there, if I wasn't to them, because I would have just been a hindrance.
Yeah.
You know, is the way that but, like, to...
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to bring all that up right at the beginning.
That's okay.
But it's, you know, I
it's
think
good. It's good to talk about, like, in a way. Like, for me, it's kind of like, because I'm a good ignore things that cause me any kind of uncomfortability, and that's something that, like, I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget what I went through. I don't want to forget where we're at, and I'm totally glad to share it. But, like, it's good for me, you know, and it definitely, like, it put things into perspective.
So what was the first thing when, you know, all this is going down? I mean, and I'm the same way, you know, like I think in men in general, and Nikki, but men tend to tamper things down, you know, and just, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, deal with this later. But when certain things in life, you don't have the option to deal with later. You know, you have to deal with things as they come. My dad, and I can relate to you, he had a stroke 2.5 years ago. I found him like after I had talked to him on June 11th, and I was getting ready to leave for the Keys on June 15th. So I talked to him on June 11th via text. And then on June 14th, so 3 days had passed, and we didn't talk that much. He lived 100 yards from me. I was calling him, and I couldn't get a hold of him, right? So I'm like, this is weird. This isn't like my dad. Normally I call him, and one of two things happens. Either he answers the phone, or he doesn't because he accidentally puts it on airplane mode, and he can't figure out how to turn it off, right? Yeah. But something told me to go look for him or see what was going on. Yeah. So I went, and his car was in the driveway, pounding on the door, couldn't get in, blah, blah, blah. Finally got in, and he had a stroke and had wedged his way into this back room. But when he had the stroke, it was I forget what they call it, but the blood vessels in the back of his neck were completely clogged. So the stroke was primarily the back part of his brain. So, and he remembers it to this day. It's freaky because his memory is coming back. He was in the shower because when I found him, he was completely naked. Yeah. He had the stroke and blind. Yeah. Knocked his vision out completely. And he started freaking out and knocking stuff. His whole apartment looked like it just got ransacked. Yeah. Right. And and those are the situations that in sobriety, they're going to happen in some capacity, whether we like it or not, they're going to happen. So I'm in this mode of what do I do? What do I do? Obviously, first thing, call 911, and they come and take him. And, it's been 2.5 years, but now he lives with me. And he's a grumpy bastard, but he lives with me. We know where
I'm actually going through the same exact thing with my father.
Are you?
Yeah. I just had to move him out here.
I remember.
And sell the house in New York and move him out here. But he's 80 and he has like heart issues, but his memory is like gone. And I'm like 100% taking care of him now too. And if I wasn't like where I was in recovery, like I wouldn't show up like I do now and be able to manage like fitting that in. Cause it's frustrating. I get like short, easy.
We are
but-
adults now.
Yeah.
We are
full adults.
Full on adults.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But even like what Aaron went through, like if we weren't in this spot, like in our recovery and like solid, like that breaks you, you know, like a lot of these situations would break us in addiction and we just like throw our hands up.
I'd argue this too, like it would break normies.
Yeah.
I think we have an advantage.
Yeah.
Legit, dude.
100%.
You know, people like us, we work 12 steps. We have all this support. Like, normal people haven't been through their own like personal crisis where they got to completely recreate their life.
It'll break them.
Like,
But it's crazy what my addict brain tells me though. Like when I'm going through like certain things, like my addict brain tells me weird things. Like, why am I going through this and I'm doing the right thing? Or like, you know, like when do I get to have fun kind of thing? Like why, but like, I am my kids rely on me, my wife relies on me, my mom relies on me. Like I had a lot of fun in my life. Like now is my time to kind of like take care of business for my family and like, you know, but that's kind of like where my addict brain goes sometimes is like, when does the pleasure start? When do I get to have fun? Why do I always got it? But like, dude, you're the man of the house now.
Yeah.
I have to stay sober and I have to stay solid and I have to handle business for my family and my kids who I love more than anything. And that's just what it is.
So funny you're saying that, dude, because I mean for myself, I've had some major life changes since April. Like my whole living situation's everything's different in my life. And I've been saying to myself lately, a lot of people like come up to you and I was talking with Eric about this. Eric Sheets, a guy that he's been doing some of our reels for us that have been blowing up.
Okay.
But he came up to me one day and he's like, Ben, are people telling you that you deserve to be happy? I'm like, dude, I hear that from so many people. You deserve to be happy. He's like, that's bullshit. He's like, what you need is purpose.
Yeah.
Execute that purpose, handling stuff.
Yeah.
And then if you have moments of happiness as a result of doing that, dude, that's just been kind of like really weighing on me lately.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying to myself, I don't deserve to be happy, but I am grateful that I have purpose today. And that purpose at the end of the day is what ends up filling my heart. Not some moment of like, ooh, like kind of like related to like you were saying, like your addict brain tells you like you deserve to have fun, to a moment of relaxation, like a high, if you will.
Yes.
Bro, it's a different perspective now. Just purpose has really been hit. Like if I do what I'm supposed to be doing for other human beings through service work, through all that, like when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to be able to look back and say, I handled some shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I won't remember like some happy day down on the beach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like fun and reality is way different now too. Like if I tried to have fun, I'd be like, no, there's like stuff that I have purpose that I have to handle, that I have responsibility for. And that weighs like heavier on me. It's more like contentness because I know I'm taking care of what I need to, you know, or being able to show up and be that person like weighs heavier than like a fun day, you know?
It's kind of like, how are people going to remember you? They're not going to remember that I took some vacation to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
They're going to remember you for what you did for other human beings on this planet, dude.
But, you know, when we're in this mindset of like, you know, getting stuff done, like we have responsibilities and stuff like that. And, you know, all of us at this stage of our lives, like we have to forego a lot of the leisure things, you know, like we all have children. You have a child coming, like we don't have the luxury now to go. And like me, I would love to go out and just golf every day.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to go and I don't know, whatever the hell I would want to do.
Yeah.
And I can't do that, you know, because I have a wife, I have children and yada, yada. But when I have the opportunity to do those things, it's so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you give me I have a massage scheduled for tomorrow at 6:00 and that's going to be the best freaking massage ever.
Yeah.
Because I haven't gotten one in probably 6 months and, you know, because we're responsible people. I would love to be able to just go out and golf, and Ben, you would be able to love and just go surf and, you know, live at the gym and, you know, do the things that you like to do. But we can't. But when we do get to do it, means a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Nikki, so 8 months pregnant, 6 weeks to go. But you've recently you've been working out the fitness aspect throughout the whole pregnancy. Like, what's that look like for you, and how do you think it's helped you?
So, I mean, and it wasn't the plan. Like in the beginning, I didn't know if I would be able to. I kind of expected to have to stop at some point. But I kept asking like my doctor and they're like, as long as you did it before, you could. And even with going through this, you know, that pregnancy before this and feeling like that downtime, like just staying consistent with it, it's what kept me going. And then I found myself like where, you know, average pregnant women are like struggling and complaining about a lot and really going through it. I found myself being like, I feel good, you know, and it just motivated me to like stick with it. Like, I know if I lose it, I'm going to feel worse and I can move around the same. And
if you're not watching on YouTube, you should switch over to YouTube. Because when she walked in the door here, I was like, dude, you could see her quads right now. Like they're like popping through them Lululemons.
Yeah.
Like she is in shape and fit. And like kind of like you were saying, like a lot of times you see women get, I don't want to say unhealthy. Is that, I don't know, what's the proper terminology? Unhealthy, if you will.
I mean,
yeah.
And I think a lot of women feel like they're supposed to kind of like let go of that because it's part of pregnancy, but it doesn't have to be like the weight gain. I also knew like, you know, in reality, if I let myself go because I'm pregnant and like use that, I said, I know I'm not going to bounce back easy from it, you know?
Can I ask a personal question?
Yeah.
How much weight have you gained in your pregnancy?
20 pounds.
Look, okay. So, and the reason I want to bring that up, you hear the phrase, oh, you're eating for two now. No, you're not. You're not eating for two.
Yeah.
Like your body is a pretty remarkable thing. It's gonna continue to utilize the food that you're consuming, and it's gonna help grow the baby. Like you just see a lot of times women, they go completely off the rails, and you hear about I gained 60, 80 pounds during my pregnancy. And it's like, and listen, don't send me hate comments. I'm not like hating. It's just, you know, it's reality. And I think that that's very important to talk about. Like you gain 20 pounds and you know what? When you have the baby, you're going to lose the 20 pounds in probably a month, you know, and you're going to bounce right back to where you were. And I think that's a testament of continuing, you know, to incorporate the fitness in some capacity.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I've taught myself since early recovery that I'm like, you know, stick with this routine. This is what makes my mental health good. This is what makes me feel good physically. I have more energy. And I've just kept that mentality through pregnancy. Like, you know, if I have a rough day, I'm like, I know I need to work out or I'm going to not be in a good mood. You know, I'm going to be dragging or.
What do workouts look like for you?
I mean, pretty much exactly the same as they did, maybe a little lighter in certain areas.
Push-pull legs? What's your split?
What?
What's your split?
I'm not going to answer that right because I have my same.
You just go in and like.
I do my same routine. I kind of do a little bit of legs every day, a little bit of like arms. Like a full body
I got you.
Mix up because I don't want my body to get weak. You know.
Yeah. You want to preserve your muscle.
I'm no doctor or scientist, but I would imagine like the extra blood flow, the oxygen pumping through your body, like would be good for the development of a baby too.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I feel like a lot of times you see like, oh, it's time to sit down, watch TV all day. And those are the people that end up having the complications and whatnot. You know?
And don't get me wrong, if I had certain complications, then I might not be able to do what I'm doing. But I just found, especially after going through like the loss before it, I found like I'm sticking with what I'm sticking with, and everything seems to be going perfect, and like everything's like, you know, very healthy with her. And so why would I stop? You know, even like with eating, I eat the same healthy stuff that I used to. I just have like an extra protein shake after the gym. You know.
Oh yeah.
You look great. I mean, you really do.
I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell like even in your face and stuff like that, you know. It's like all belly.
And I
you know?
didn't know what to expect either. Like, it's not like I had this grand plan, or I was like, I have to prepare myself. I might blow up. Everything might change. But it hasn't. And I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah. Are you going to have more?
I might. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know,
But
one more would be nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice too. I was like reflecting back on my own storyline, like how you're going to get to experience all this in sobriety, right? Like, and we touched on it a little bit before we started recording, but like, there's this part of me that still has this guilt because I didn't get sober until Weston was a year old, and did we keep him alive? Yes, but like that, I was shooting heroin the whole time. Like the whole thing's such a blur. And there's like, I still to this day have like guilt and shame of like, I missed that part of his child. I was there physically, not mentally. I did get him taken away a couple times too. So there was like a few months period where like I hardly saw him at all. I remember like my mom and my mother-in-law at the time bringing Weston to the detox to see me, like, because I had been there for like 30 days or whatever. Like, and I'm just looking back and like, man, that was tragic of my own doing, you know, but even being during the delivery, like I remember the doctor like waking me up, like, okay, he's coming now.
Yeah.
Like I was just such a POS. Like I'm just going to call it what it is. And you're going to get to experience all that. And that's a beautiful thing. It really is.
And I'm grateful for it because even like what you're sharing about, I used to struggle with because I didn't have kids like younger, but because I was in active addiction. And then I would struggle with like, did I make the right decision? Like, should I have just had, you know, the kid in active addiction? Because, you know, people come through it and like work it out, even though they're in active addiction in the beginning. And I started like feeling guilty about that almost. Like I thought I was doing the right thing at the time because I was in active addiction. But then I felt guilty about it because I'm like, I could have made it work and now I might not get to have kids, or, you know, trying to like control the situation in early recovery of like, I have to hurry up and like make something happen. And when I let it go, it happened like, you know, perfectly.
I don't know if you said this. Are you having a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I want a girl.
Oh, girls are great. I love my
have
son.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my two boys.
I got my two boys. 3 boys, really. Yeah.
They say having a girl changes a man.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. For sure.
I wanted a boy originally.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. So we had a boy at first, and then I got 2 girls. And it's a weird dynamic. I mean, me and my son has a completely different relationship than me and my girls.
Yeah.
You know, my girls could literally go up and whack my son in the face, you know, like punch him. And I'm like, what'd you do to deserve it type thing.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I'm so scared of that though.
They can do no wrong.
Because that's what I'm scared of. I'm like, I'm going to have to be the bad guy. You know, like we are not spoiling her, but I know I'm
Do you
the
have a
only
name
one
or
saying
no?
that. Nyla.
Nyla?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So Aaron, what's up with you and your fitness journey nowadays?
I mean, I'm consistent. I'm one of the me and Ben, I feel like we've never really fallen off.
No.
Like I see a lot of guys in fitness and recovery, and they go hard for like a few months and then they stop. And
That's me.
I don't know, man. For like the last 5 years, it's been pretty much 6 days a week, 1 rest day. I've taken it a little bit easier. I mean, I'm kind of just like, I'm not like going to compete in a show or anything like that. But I mean, I feel like going in the gym with a purpose and like a kind of like a goal for me makes it fun. Like I want to lift heavier, and I watch a lot of Instagram videos, and I gain knowledge, and I find, you know, progressive overload and keeping things simple. And but yeah, I mean, I literally go to bed every night at 9 p.m. and I wake up at 4, and I'm in the gym by 5:30 because it's that sacred to me. Like I like going in there where no one else is up, and I have my time to focus on it and my hour and a half, and like that formula for me in recovery has been working. It's been working really well for my mental health, my physical.
You look freaking solid.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You're a brick house.
I
dude.
probably could eat a little cleaner. Like I'm kind of like that 80-20 guy, like 80%, you know what I mean?
That's
20% off. But when I look in the mirror, like I'm happy with what I see. And so yeah.
80-20 is healthy.
80-20 is not bad.
That's a really good rule. Like I'm a little more with the nutrient, but it gets unhealthy. We were just talking about this.
Yeah, it could get
Like,
obsessive.
yeah.
I'm 70-30. Weekends, I'm
It's
more
just like
60-40.
prioritize protein. Like in every meal, like, okay, like prioritize your protein, like maybe eat your protein first. And then if there's some like carbs in there, but like for the most part, have good carbs, be in the habit of eating rice, sweet potato, and having like an idea of portion control. Because I used to like weigh my food and I would know exactly how many grams. Now I don't do that anymore, but I have an idea of what 6 to 8.
You have the awareness.
I know what 6 to 8 ounces of lean meat looks like, and I know what is lean meat versus what is not lean meat. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so I have an idea, and then vegetables and fruits and like, just, you know, and then, on Saturdays, me and my wife, we go crazy. We eat, we go crazy, we whatever. Sometimes on Thursdays, we'll have like a day we get sushi or whatever, but sometimes I'll pig out at night, late night. But
like, what's your pig out meal when you pig out?
Dude, my wife gets my son these goldfish,
wheat
thins.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll grab
The
Pringles.
snacks, bro.
Yeah. Like,
because when you said sushi, I'm like, that's not really a cheat night. It doesn't have to be.
Well, like that's like the Thursday cheat night.
Yeah.
That's like the Thursday. The Saturday cheat night or cheat day is like we go all out, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I want to say so, I kind of had a moment like a couple weeks ago. You know, you were talking. We were just saying like you got the boys, I got the boys, dude. And a few months back, dude, I was like when I was competing and getting ready to step on stage, like I was going through this mental thing where I'm like, dude, this is such a selfish sport. Like I'm always making sure like I make it to the gym. Yeah. Or Kai would be like, hey, I want to go to the pool. And I'd be like, hang on, give me 30 minutes. I got to eat. Then we'll go to the pool. And, but I went down to our community gym like a couple weeks, and I put up a little reel about this, Tom. You'd be proud.
I didn't see it, did I?
He'll let
you
you
post
know
it?
if he's proud.
So, but
Matter
anyway,
of fact, let me check this.
I felt I was having this guilt, right? Kind of the same kind of guilt with like going to meetings, like it's taken away from family time. Yeah, this, that, the other. But I took both of them with me to the community gym, dude. Weston's working out, dude. Even Kai was doing tricep push downs, and he's 6. Like he grabbed a dumbbell and he's literally doing squats like over in the corner by himself. And it just kind of dawned on me, like, while I was feeling selfish about this, what I didn't realize is that they were watching me the whole time. Yeah. Right. And like, not like I'm hoping that they're bodybuilders or anything like that, but just the healthy,
health conscious.
Health conscious. Like dad does this, and maybe they'll continue to do it for the rest of their life too. So like going back to that purpose thing, I was like, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe I'm not such a scumbag for doing this and taking the time. And a lot of times you'll see reels or like guys on social media talking about, I won't be able, you'll probably say this more eloquently than me, but something along the lines of like, it's actually, it gets it. Mind Pump talks about it all the time. Spending time in the gym isn't selfish because it gives you better quality time when you're with them or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point. I think what you're trying to say is like it becomes a point of diminishing return. Like if you're a gym rat, you live in the gym, like it's obviously can become a hindrance. But yeah, I mean,
on the other end of that though, if you're working out,
spending time in the gym, prioritizing your fitness, your nutrition, stuff like that, it affects every aspect of your life. And I think you said that, like with your mental health and, you know, emotional stability, and obviously helped you through the pregnancy. And, you know, but I do think that there's times where people take it overboard. And I think I actually did a reel on this a couple days ago.
Well, I'm going to pull it up.
But it's like, don't make the gym your god type thing. You know, I love what you're doing. You get up 4 o'clock, you're in the gym by 5, do your hour and a half, and then it's done. As a matter of fact, we just recorded with Tyler from Harmony Hills, and he has the same routine in the morning. He gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's in the gym by 5:30, and I said the same thing to him that I'd say to you guys. You get more done in the first 3 hours of your day than most people get done in the whole entire day,
Yeah.
if
That's
not even
actually
get it
exactly what I do too. Is like,
Yeah.
wake up, get ready for the gym, and this way I can fit everything else in.
done. Me, I'm
Because
like,
I couldn't imagine trying to do it at night after
No.
work, or
I don't like the night crowd either.
yeah, it's
Oh,
like
no.
the
It's
All the
hanging
kids
out.
with the mops on their
Yeah.
head. Like, I can't do that. There's no equipment available.
The
Nah.
other thing with our line of work, there's emergencies all the time.
Yeah.
So if you get it done first thing in the morning, emergency pops up, it's not derailing your
Yes.
gym
Yeah.
schedule, so to speak.
Yes.
I'm
It actually helps because we're like when emergencies going down, we're already up and like paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not in a good season, Ben. This is a season of my life. It's been a long season, but I squeeze out every last minute of sleep that I can. I get up, I drink coffee, and I have the mindset of, well, you know what? If I can find 20 or 30 minutes today to work out, I'll do it. And I never find it. Even if I'm up here, I have everything done, edited, day's good. I felt accomplished. I'm just like, oh gosh, no. And the gym is literally down the stairs for me, and for me to actually go down there. But you know what? 3 days ago, Ben, I went into the gym and I worked out and I was so damn proud of myself when I was done. And then I said yesterday, you know what? I'm going to do it again. And I didn't, but I'm going to do it today.
Do it today.
But that's the season of life that I'm in
That's
right
okay.
now.
You
It's
got to
like,
just do it. You
That's
can't
okay.
think about
Yeah,
it. It's the
it's-
routine that's the hardest part.
yeah, but there's been seasons of my life, and Ben can attest to this. Like, I was into powerlifting for a while, and I would do like meets and stuff, and give me 12 to 16 weeks, and I legit wouldn't miss a damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, everything was on point.
Yeah.
But then I would do the meet, and it's like, okay, I'm done. And
You're like that. You need to set a day where a pinnacle of whatever you're doing is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
yeah. I will never do a bodybuilding show. That's for certain. Even though I think I could. I feel like I have the
Attitude or whatever.
the body type, maybe. I don't know. I think my quad or my calves are nicer than yours. So what else? Anything else? How's work going for you guys? Good?
It's going good. Since the last time we were here, did we have New Jersey open when we were here last time?
I don't know.
No.
We didn't.
It's been a couple years.
I think you were in the process of-
Jersey.
We were in the
had
process.
New Jersey.
Okay, so yeah, now we have 3 other facilities: 2 in Indiana, 1 in New Jersey.
Mhm.
We have another one opening in New Jersey, and then one opening in Massachusetts.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
Yeah. So
growing.
the level of the pace has gone up a lot.
Mhm.
The workload has gone up. I'm now dealing with like 6 to 8 case managers and in different states. And then we just take a lot more calls. There's a lot more people calling in, so the pace has gone up a lot. But I've learned to have like tools with dealing with it, of like there's a certain amount of things that I have control over and that I can put my mental attention, my mental space to, and learning to kind of like do the best that I can, but like mentally like take a step back, because there's always going to be chaos and just a lot of things going on. But it's been cool. I've learned the state of Indiana, the treatment up there a lot. And the surrounding states, I've learned a lot about that. New Jersey, there's a lot of treatment up there, and it's, it seems like they're getting good care up there. But yeah, I mean, Boca Recovery Center is expanding, and we're doing really well, and we're helping a lot of people, and it's been cool to watch.
Now you're born and raised here, aren't you?
Miami, yeah.
Yeah. And you're from New Jersey.
I'm from New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sometimes
It's fine,
people
same
take
thing.
offense.
I'm not trying to rep it to the ground right now.
Not trying to be one of those people in those New York.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I get the, oh, you're from Philly. And I'm like, hell no, I ain't from Philly. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But, and how about for you, Nikki? All good with work and
Yeah,
everything?
I mean, it's changed. It's definitely a lot bigger. My position has changed, but I get to kind of be in every
So what are you
area.
doing now?
I'm doing alumni now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
So-
got to be a busy job.
They're flying 2 people down, one from Indiana and one from New Jersey next week, and she's training them.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You know?
It's cool
That's awesome.
to like grow with the company, and I love being in this position because I could kind of like move in any direction I had to, and because I have the experience prior, like I can make what I need to make happen for clients in medical areas, clinical areas, still in admissions, and be all over.
Here's a testament too to Boca is like, how long you been there now?
7 years.
I mean, dude, since I met you, you've been there. And you've been there how long?
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. I want to point that out.
Yeah.
Because to be straight up, the places that I see that don't have the best reputations, the turnover rate is high.
Yeah.
You all don't have a big turnover rate.
No.
It's like, bro, the people that work there believe in what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
And that says a lot because there's consistency. Everybody knows how to work together. Everybody knows the systems.
Yeah.
And detox, dude, you got to be ready, bro. Like kung fu ready, man.
Yeah. It's a whole different.
There's no scheduling the admissions for 9 a.m. and we have the intake. It's like constant and it's chaos, and the admissions are coming in early. They're calling in late. It's a lot.
And you guys make the process so easy. I know from a PHP IOP perspective, like if we come across somebody that needs detox, we need somebody that's like boom, like, and from Ben and I's perspective, we don't want to have to work harder than the facility that we're sending to.
Yes.
And some places do that. They're like, oh, can you find this out? Oh, can you find that out? Oh, can you do this? And it's like, no, you can do it all. Here's the phone number.
Yes.
Just call them.
Yes.
And you guys are great. So I know if we send you guys anything, it's like, that's it. That's all you got to do. Like, boom, it's approved. Okay, here's the number. And then like we
can take over.
Yeah, like sleep easy.
And
we're used to it. Like we know the problems that come up. We know like the games that they play.
And we appreciate the efficiency that like is needed, and acting quickly, and then also the communicating, the letting the people know who referred it. It's being worked on. This is where things are at. Okay, now they're in our care. You guys want to know important information about your patient, what's going on with them medically, what's going on with them clinically, where they're at, where their level of commitment is, and coming to you guys. Like, it's just,
or even like if you're in touch with family that we don't know about, and like communicate that makes all the difference. We take it very seriously.
The other part too, like on our end, is like with you all, we trust you all.
Yeah.
Like if something goes down with the client where the client is the problem, like we trust your judgment, and you keep us informed and in the loop. But it's like on our end, it's just kind of like handle how you see fit. It's, I don't want to have somebody somewhere where I'm like, who's really the problem here? You know, and with you all, it's always.
Well, yeah, we have an obligation to that patient, man. Like sometimes they try to deter from the plan, and like we have an obligation, like medically and whatever, clinically, and to and put interventions in place, get them back on track. Like we have an obligation not only to the facility, to that patient's family, and to the patient themselves of like, you are not going to deter from the plan. You came in, this was an emergency. This was an emergency. And even when you're in residential, like this is, and PHP, like you are in an emergency state of your life right now. It could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
And like, hopefully you have a healthy appreciation for how bad your disease is, that you're not able to like, oh, I have to get back to work, or, there's always going to be different situations, but just a healthy respect for where you're at in your life and of like what it's going to take to recover. And I think that needs to be like stressed, and just on a detox res level of the communication with the family and the communication with the facility, and like being transparent and with the patient in a way that's going to make them want to see the right way.
Yeah.
Because, not everyone's open to that at that time.
Mm-hmm. And also just being people in recovery that like can relate to that, because we know how detrimental it is. Like we've all had those thoughts of a million reasons why we can't, or changing our mind and panicking and wanting to run. And we see like how big of a deal, like to get them through. There's like, 100 points where they could have went left, and like to be that person that like builds that bond, because you watch them really like turn it around and like get through that, and see how much of a difference it made in them actually getting to a place in their recovery where they can, be okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious too. You mentioned all the other states, and you said, like, for instance, Jersey's they're getting good care or whatnot. You know, the Florida model, we're like the pioneers, like, and I think it's very, very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Are other states starting to like incorporate? And let me point out like what I see as the pros to it. For instance, like with the PHP model in Florida, you know, we're not locking them down in residential and then saying good luck afterwards. Go find an IOP. Like, they're getting the experience of like being taken to meetings, going to the grocery store, driving by that liquor store, walking into the gas station. Down here, you can't avoid like Kratom, for instance. It's in all the gas stations. Like, getting those experiences are other states catching on to that, where they're getting more like exposure, if you will, through a full continuum of care?
New Jersey is, in that there's a lot of PHPs. They kind of run the model a little different, to where the housing is a separate entity than the actual clinical kind of thing. But Indiana's funny. Indiana's weird. Like, Indiana is the model for the most part of it's detox and res, and then you go to your sober living, and then you might go to an IOP, a clinical, but it's not like the Florida model. Like, for the most part, what you have up there is detox, res, sober living, maybe some clinical, but there's a couple PHPs, not like it is in Florida. And I think it's, the patient, like, just to be thrown out there, like, oh, it's time to get back to work. Like, I don't think they're ready after 21, 28 days,
Yeah.
I don't think they're ready. I think in PHP, it gives them a little bit more opportunity to work out some issues, to connect some dots in their life, whether it be getting an EBT card, or where they're going job wise, where they're going sponsor wise, where they're going meeting wise. But like, I think the continuum of care, that like 30 detox res, 30 PHP, 30 IOP, like, I think that, like, if the person has the ability to commit to that, they have the highest success rate. Just a gradual step down, monitoring. And, some of us, we've been using for years. We have no fucking clue how to live life. And like, having a therapist or a case manager to kind of direct things, like, that is the best possible way to do it. Now, a lot of people we encounter these days in 2024, they don't have the ability to do it. Some of them tell themselves they don't have the ability to do it. Oh, I got to get back to work. No, you don't have to get back to work. And that's why you're going to get back to work, and you're going to relapse, and you might not be on that insurance anymore. Or you might not have the ability to go to treatment. So, I mean, I think we have to encourage them. But yeah, New Jersey has a great recovery community. There's some really, really great PHP programs. Indiana's not there yet.
Why?
Dude, they're just old school, man. They're just, I don't know. They're just detox, res. Mostly everyone's on Medicaid. It's just not something they've like adopted yet.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, the private programs in Indiana, they don't believe in MAT. They don't believe in MAT at all. But the Medicaid ones are all methadone and Suboxone. That's their go-to.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's not. Some states, it's there's not a ton of resources like that. So
Yeah.
I won't say names, but I have a buddy that got sober down in Florida, and he is now up in Massachusetts, and he's just about done with getting his master's to be a therapist up there. And he was part of one of the jobs that he took was like with a harm reduction program, but it's all tied into methadone and stuff. But he told me he took this job, and within the first few weeks, like, he was picking up on the fact that like the Medicaid, the methadone is all tied up with the state. And it's actually, he's like, Ben, as somebody who got sober in Florida, this all seems like all about money and one rub. What's the saying? One hand rubs the other. I don't know.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It's like a trapped system.
One back scratches it. Well, you know the saying. You scratch my back, I'll scratch
Rob
yours.
Peter to pay Paul?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's the thing too. I tell like clients all the time, like in Florida, you see like, oh, I can go to PHP and IOP, and they're like, oh, well, I have to go home. I'll just do that home. And it's like, it's not a thing in most places, you know?
Yeah.
Like even in New York, it's not a thing.
Really?
You know? No,
That's
I mean,
strange to me.
yeah,
It really is.
it is to me too. Like now, like in perspective, but yeah, PHP isn't a thing. There was like TCs, long-term TCs. There is some
TCs.
therapeutic communities that also got like shut down. I got sent to one when I was younger. It was terrible.
Nikki. Nikki's going to TC again.
But no, there isn't. And like the sober livings aren't as connected as they are here. And, you know, there's so much recovery out here. It's not a thing in a lot of states.
We as far as the podcast goes, I mean, it reaches all over all over the country. And I think one thing that people, they really don't realize is what Florida has, you know, in terms of sobriety, in particular, South Florida. I would say from Port St. Lucie down.
Mm-hmm.
You get to Port St. Lucie. Listen, if you want to get clean and sober, hop in your car, drive over to the East Coast and take I-95 south. Once you hit Port St. Lucie, just keep driving until what exit y'all off of? Glades?
Yeah.
Keep driving. That was a good
That
guess.
was a good
by me.
guess. Yeah, that was solid.
Keep driving.
But we can still keep going
our
down.
corporate offices in Glades, our facilities off Atlantic.
36.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to just hop on I-95, take that southbound till you reach Glades, right? You get off Glades and then you're going to put in your little Google Maps. You're going to type in Boca Detox.
Boca Recovery Center.
Boca Recovery Center. You're going to go to Boca Recovery Center and you're going to complete there for probably 21 to 31 days, detox residential. And then you're going to get back in your car and you're going to get back on I-95 northbound. And then you're going to get off
Rock Recovery.
Then you're going to get off Okeechobee Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
You're going to take Okeechobee Boulevard westbound until you hit Military Trail. Once you hit Military Trail, then you make a left. That's heading south, Ben, I think.
It is.
And we're going to be right on your right-hand side. Okay, so if you want solid recovery, that is what you do. Now, if you're intoxicated while driving, don't do that. Just pick up the phone.
Send you a
We'll send you
driver.
left.
Yeah, we'll figure that part out. But no, this has been super fun, guys. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all opening up about the stuff you did in the beginning. That was pretty heavy, man. But like for our listeners just to hear, like, life's gonna hit you in all sorts of ways. But the beautiful part is, again, like today we have the tools to handle it, and the resources, and the people in our lives. Like,
Yeah,
dude, it's freedom, right? Like some of the gut wrenching things that we go through in sobriety, but we come out the other side and we actually contribute something positive to the situation rather than being a hindrance to the situation.
It makes it a lot less scary, and then we help each other with what we went through.
Yeah. All right, that's a wrap.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
All
thanks for
right.
coming up.
That is it for this episode of Real Recovery Talk. Thank you for tuning in. In the end, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you could always reach us, info@realrecoverytalk.com. Again, that's info@realrecoverytalk.com. And ultimately, we want to help you turn your mess into your message. That is it. We will see y'all later.